to
Ja
odpalę.
wyłączyłam wszystkie notyfikacje w komputerze. To się już łatwo robi. Wpisuje się notification i wtedy można sobie to wszystko wyłączyć do danego odcinka.
Już ten, czy? Okay, so hello everyone, and thank you very much for coming to this event. My name is Judita, and I'm the industry coordinator at Shortwaves Festival. Today's event is a part of This Is Short program called Four Perspectives, where each involved festival interprets the theme of solidarity. We at Shortwaves, when thinking of solidarity, instantly thought of gender solidarity because of what has been happening in Poland lately in terms of women's rights. This is the reason we invited our panelists, Monika Kotecka, Karolina Domagalska, and Anna Rok, who will talk about the topic of gender solidarity in the film industry, but not only. At the end of the talk, we will have around 10-15 minutes for Q&A, so you can type in your questions here in the Zoom chat. Before I give the floor, or rather the screen, to our panelists, I'd like to also invite you to our Friday panel, which is also a part of the Four Perspectives program. On Friday, we will discuss the new challenges for film festivals in the context of festival networks. I would also like to invite you to our other screenings and events. The audience in Poznan can luckily attend the events physically in cinemas, but the rest of you are very welcome to join the program online on Shortwave's platform, as well as the This Is Short platform. We still have 4 more days to go for the festival and lots of incredible films. I especially recommend the program Women's Rights Are Human Rights, which will further discuss the topics that will be mentioned today. And now, without further ado, I'd like to welcome our guests and give the voice to them.
Okay, hello. My name is Monika Kotecka, and it's great to be here. Actually, of course, I would like to introduce my great colleague, Karolina and Anna. And we've decided to be here in trio. And we can say that Anna is a kind of surprise, but because of the fact, actually, we are working as a trio in that documentary. So it's better to give voice to all of us. And let me tell you how it all started, how our cooperation started, because I think it's good to start from the beginning. Actually, over 1 year ago, in February 2020, I went for a meeting with Karolina, arranged by our previous producer, just to get to know something about the project she wanted to invite me to, 5 pills away. And actually, I was 95% sure that I have to refuse, and I don't have time to take part in the project. Actually, I was quite curious, Karolina, because I was a huge fan of her previous book, a non-fiction book about assisted reproduction. And after 2 hours of talking and kind of a girl's crush, let's say, I've decided, okay, maybe I don't have time to be part of that project, but actually I had that intuition that there is something more, not only in the subject, but also in that vibe we had with Karolina. So I said, yeah, let's try to think about how we can cooperate. So that was the beginning of that crazy journey. And actually, at that time, I was cooperating with Anna Rok, who is a sound director, and I was cooperating with her on other projects. And I was 100% sure that I had to I had to make a date for them to meet, and that Anna totally fits to the project. So yeah, we are here over a year ago, over a lot of struggles with that project. And what is the project about? Then I'll give a voice to Karolina.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with us. This film we are making is about abortion dream team. It's a group of activists that fight for rights to abortion, for access to abortion, really. And I met them 4 years ago because I used to work as a journalist, and I simply reported a story on them. And then they appeared on a cover of quite popular Polish magazine, and they were, the three of them, they were on this cover with the t-shirt, and the t-shirt said, "Abortion is okay." And believe it or not, maybe some of you remember that time, but people were really, really shocked and it caused something like moral panic. And I think this was something that really bonded us, but also it really changed the course of my career, because actually I stopped being a journalist, or quit that time my job, because the panic also kind of affected my office, my magazine, and they introduced a new editor-in-chief that is known for her conservative opinions and views. So, and around that time, I decided, I mean, my colleague from work actually felt like, she said, well, I think we should make a documentary about the abortion dream team. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe. But then we tried, and we applied for some kind of development program. We got in, and we spent a year developing the project. And only after that time, when actually my colleague decided that she prefers to be a journalist rather than a director, I met Monika and then later Anya. But talking about gender solidarity, I have to tell you that, first of all, around the time that we decided to make a film about abortion dream team, quite famous, well-known Polish documentary director approached them as well, and he asked them whether they would like to be, whether they would agree to be the protagonist of his film. And when we found out about it, we were like, oh no, we think he should. They are protagonists, they should choose him, right? He's more experienced. And we talked to them, we told them, we would completely understand if you decide to give him a go. And they were like, no, we would like to work with you. And what they said at the time, and their explanation really stayed with me, because they said that every time we have a chance to work with a woman that has passion, that has vision, that is engaged in a story, that we trust her, even if she's not experienced, we would choose her because we want to give her a chance to speak, because we want to give her a chance to, we want to give her a platform, And that was something really, really amazing. And I know they actually are doing it. Every time they have to choose, a painter, a graphic designer, whatever, it's always a woman. And, they never regretted it. They always end up with great things, they order or buy from them. So that was the first step of, me understanding kind of this gender solidarity, how it could be understood and how powerful it is. And then I realized that actually the way I got into this magazine was that my friend, she believed in me. I haven't been an editor when she hired me. And turned out I was quite a good editor, but I didn't know about that. So I think that gender solidarity sometimes means not that we will choose women over men because, I don't know, for reasons that are difficult to explain, or that we want to discriminate men. I think it's different we will do that because we know how hard it is sometimes to take space, to talk, to introduce your ideas, to share with her, to be heard. So that was really, really something that stayed with me. And also, after a while, I realized that my protagonists, that, as I said, they work with access to abortion. So they provide women that need abortion and people that need abortion with information, how they can get one, how they can order pills and have self-managed abortion at home, because it is possible. And or if they have to travel abroad to a clinic, they would also help with that. And they use the term radical empathy. And in their activism, it means we don't need you to explain why you need abortion. We don't care. We don't want to know whether you have this is your first abortion or third abortion or 10th abortion. We don't want to hear any reason. You don't have to explain why you need that. We are here to help you. And so radical empathy actually means that we think that you as a woman know what is best for you, and we trust you. We trust you that you know, and you can make a moral, ethical, responsible decision. And this is something that also transcends to other spheres of my life, of our life. And I think we'll come back to that point.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why the title of that panel is so closely connected with that radical empathy. And yeah, and it would be great to hear what Anna would say and how she understands that after really great experience in a documentary filmmaker as a sound director.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here. And well, I work as a sound person for 8-9 years, more or less. And I'm very grateful because I work mainly in the documentary industry. And well, I think in general, documentary filmmaking is like a place where you have to be very open for the people which are filmed, but also for the crew. And we are very close to each other because we spend a lot of hours all together. We have to improvise with the reality, with everything that's going on. So anyway, it's like kind of the special place where you have to be listened also by the all crew members. But I have the experience also just as a sound person who do the sound on set in small fiction, in some commercial industry. And well, I have to say that sometimes you have to really protect your rights, and you have to be kind of like a soldier, women soldier who fight with, with all the departments to do the job well. My job, my responsibility is to have the good quality of the sound recording. And well, in documentary filmmaking is already, the space to be all together and to take the responsibility together also, and to discuss how to do it. It's already like, nice place. That's why I really love to make documentary for many reasons. And I feel that I'm just, this is my place to be. Well, I also work mainly with the women by the coincidence, because, well, I think women are very, good in documentary. They know how to listen to people. But here in our crew, I think it's like also kind of the new chapter for me, and the new. It's a place like to re-question one more time how to develop our project. Do we have like the new tools to do it? How to listen each other? How to improve? How to work with all together? Also in kind of the hard moment when we don't have the full financial support, and how to react for the new steps of our character's life and circumstances, political circumstances in Poland nowadays. So for me, it was like I think I'm very curious how to improve tools, and I think we have a chance to really practice it.
Yeah, actually, I'm working a lot with women as well, but from the beginning I had that feeling that in that particular project there is kind of a new wave, and I think it depends on many reasons, but actually one reason is the combination of our personalities and characters and our skills as well we got from previous lives, previous project, and so on, but also because of that momentum in time when it comes to new way of thinking about collaboration, about having in mind how social proximity is important, how that kind of closeness and bond between people you are working with is crucial for the project and crucial to make a safe space for your team, but also for your protagonist. And it opens hearts. I have that feeling that it opens hearts, and it gives that way of understanding what we call radical empathy, how we are trying to dig deeper into their stories, but also how to listen to ourselves, because documentary filmmaking is not easy at all. It's not easy from emotional perspective, but it's also very often complicated from financial one. It's very often we are working quite for a long time before the full financial came, and of course it's our decision. It's not the thing that somebody is forcing us to do that way, but having in mind that perspective that something new is coming, I was sure that in that crew it's great to there is a chance that something amazing will appear. And also I had in mind, because when I met Karolina, I was in editing my previous project, and I was a debutee in that project, so I knew how important for a debutee is to have a crew ahead him or her.
Yeah, well, that was very important for me, I guess. And because, you know, as a first-time filmmaker, what you have to do is to actually allow yourself to be vulnerable, you know, to open, to show that you don't know things, that to open to people about, you know, mistakes you make, to be open about everything, because you have to learn somehow. And it's not easy to do if the person around you, when people around you want to teach you, want to judge you, want to give you lessons. Because I guess this is really common model, because you know, even at school, we are raised in a way that hierarchy is kind of in our blood already. And also, when as a woman we also experience that we have to prove ourselves. And so when we went for our first shooting days, it was actually abortion summer camp, which was amazing. We went there with 30 activists. Of course, that summer camp was run by our protagonist. And that was for me really a great challenge, but also I felt like, oh, this way I'm gonna actually find out whether I'm able to make this film or not. You know, that was the first time that I was actually shooting. And well, yeah, like real shooting. So it was so amazing to realize that I'm really, I don't know, privileged to work with Monika and Anya, who gave me so much trust. Like they really trusted my gut. So I never felt that my idea is stupid. Or I never felt like, oh, wow, she really doesn't know how to make films, you know. I never felt that. And I couldn't believe I couldn't believe that. And we were really, so I realized that it's really something like a community, like commune, you know, like you work together, you sleep together, because we stayed at one place, and also you're in this camp that is pouring, you know, with sisterhood, because it was really touching what was going on there. Like women were really there to help other women with access to abortion, which is hell, you know, in Poland. So they were, you know, ready to expose themselves. They were ready to do many things to help other women. And I think we were really affected by this as well. So for me, when I think about that time, it's something, you know, I'm on drugs on something. I feel like, oh my God, it was really amazing. And so this is to say that when you have this flat structure, when you don't feel like hierarchy, you can actually really fly, you know, you can actually achieve goals. You don't have to pretend, you don't have to fight for your position, you don't have to be, oh, the director should do this, or if we share directing, like how many percentage you have and me have it, like, so this decision, is it more yours or mine, or oh, did you do the right thing, or what, oh, that was a mistake, you know. You don't communicate that way at all. And then you feel like you can do so many things, and they are amazing, and you feel like it's really different quality, because I also have experience of working with women, with men, with, you know, in the office, in the magazine, in the newspaper, and there oftentimes I had to pretend something, you know, and I with them I feel like I don't have to pretend, because we trust each other and we follow our guts, and we all have skills. So I think part of this, I don't know whether it's a gender solidarity, but that would be part of, like, for me, very important part of this new model of cooperation, that we are all important and we all make the film. I think it's very important to say that it is possible, you know, it is possible.
Yeah, I think it's crucial, actually. And I think that this is that particular moment in time when, and I even feel that the situation with pandemic changed the way we are thinking about how we are mixing our personal life with our work, what kind of proportion we are proposing to ourselves, because that's very important. And that proximity, that social proximity, how we are digging in that. And I that's why I'm 100% sure that in our project, what we are trying to build in our project is very intuitive on one hand, but on the other hand, we feel like home in a way, because it's so natural, the way we are taking decisions, the way we are supporting ourselves, the way we are discussing, the way we are fighting from time to time, and the way we are dealing with problems. So what is interesting is that combination of the fact that, oh, there's something totally new model, new way of thinking, But on the other hand, it's really feels like quality, our cooperation, that non-hierarchy communication. Yeah.
Well, if may I add something,
I'm sorry.
From my experience doing the sound on set, actually the crucial item is to be like to speak really what do you think, what do you feel, really like to share your feelings. And now I'm talking only about technical reasons, actually, that from my experience, when we are not like, sincere, we just lose the time. And from my experience from this, places where people don't know each other, or they're the first days of shooting, especially in some commercial industry, we usually have to prove, yes, I'm a sound person, I look young, but I have to prove you that I have the experience, I have the good quality equipment, and I do my work well. Actually, and when we just stop this hierarchy, play theater, we just have time to, just to quickly as possible to be focused first on the characters, then the how we tell the story. And I when I feel comfortable and I don't have to prove anything, I can just share my needs, and I can talk to all crew members. What do I need to have the good quality? What do you think? It's how to do it, to not in a nice subtle way. And I'm very grateful for this way of working, and this is my dream. I want to continue in this way, that to first to be heard, to be listened by the others, and to have the power to share my needs, and listen myself. Because usually in film industry, when we the sound person is silent, he thinks, okay, it's everything good, but it's wrong. So when some person doesn't say anything, maybe something is really wrong. So and when you have nice smile, it's no, you just need to say as fast as possible, what do you need? It's good to all red, and to look for solutions. And this is like technical things, but the same things, I think the same mechanism works in other layers, creative layers, and so on and so on. So what I wanted to add is, feel comfortable and trust yourself and trust the others, and no need to have, to protect yourself. This is like, great possibility to go deeper as fast as possible.
Yeah, and from my perspective, is actually the way we've decided to work together gives us power to be strong in that really tough moments with that project, because it was complicated from production perspective. It was sometimes complicated and very stressful. We were dealing with difficult situations with our protagonist, and quite often very, very dangerous. On one of the shooting, I've broken the camera because I was following one of the protagonists, and then the police interaction came. So there are a lot of tough moments, but because of the fact we are together and we have that feeling that we are bringing important story, it gives us power. Actually, I have that feeling, and I think that Karolina can tell more about it.
Well, yeah, because we are, so this gender solidarity is also, you know, we feel like we are telling the story from women's perspectives and about women's issue, because abortion is not really talked about usually, or sometimes, you know, in the parliament, or sometimes in the streets when we are really furious, but on daily basis, it's like a taboo, and so many women actually experience that, you know, 1 in 3 women in Poland, that's plenty of women. There's plenty of people in this country. So it's like shared common experience, because even if you didn't have an abortion, you were thinking about your period being late, you know, and thinking like, what am I gonna do if I'm pregnant and I don't want to continue this pregnancy? So it's a fear, it's feeling that is known to many women, and there are no films about it. There are not even books about it. This is really rare. And I think it's also, you know, we were supposed to talk about this a little bit later, but I think I will mention the issue of, you know, we are often asked or actually challenged whether it's gonna be activist film. And we always say, no, of course not, because the idea for the film is to be a biopic, like character driven. We have amazing protagonists and we want to tell their stories from their perspective. And of course, abortion will be there because this is like the most important thing in their lives, probably, but we want to show it from this intimate perspective of a group of women that have their own personal life, but also do something amazing. They are kind of, I'm sorry, leading revolution. So, oh yeah, and but this challenge is like, oh, but we don't want this propaganda film, and we don't want to make any propaganda film. We also don't want to make a film about, you know, political debate to give you pros and cons, because our idea is to show the sisterhood that is there, the community, the solidarity, gender solidarity, actually, that you can experience there. But there is something about activism in this whole issue. And this is something actually that Monika and Anya made me realize. So maybe you can jump in, how you understand that.
Yeah, actually, I was not thinking about myself as an activist. Never. It's like I have different skills, emotional skills to communicate with word and to bring pictures and stories. But actually, when I was considering the cooperation with Karolina, and that subject of activism came, I started thinking, in a way, that's a way of being part of that revolution, telling that story, bringing that story to the world. And due to the fact Karolina had a great access to the protagonist, she really was inside, she really was one of them, and she really knew a lot about that amazing girls. I had the feeling, wow, that part of job is already done. what I can do now is to bring my skills and to help her to tell that story. And in a way, it's a form of activism, to tell that story the best we can, without that. Of course, the politics will be an issue in a way, but actually what was the most important and precious for me was the fact it's really character-driven story. We've got amazing protagonists, and the way they are dealing with life and that stressful situation they are in while being part of the revolution, it's amazing to observe. But on the other hand, I think that the world should know about that. So that's why me and Anna decided to be part of that project. And I think Anna can tell a bit more about it as well.
Well, I don't feel I'm the activist. I work in the documentary and I love people. And what I wanted to say that I think the film industry also is under reconstruction. And from my perspective, I was working for many documentary projects. I'm very grateful, but I think that this is also like a moment for the, crucial stories of nowadays. It means that for me, it was like so important that Karolina brings her experience, her professional experience, which she was working in this field for many years, and she knows the characters for a long time. And for me, it was not important at all that she has the film experience. I'm here to help her, let's say, from the technical point of view. And I'm here to bring these tools and to make the things flexible, and to not to think too much about it, and to have the access to work with the characters, with the energy of the characters. So I think nobody should be ashamed that was not in the film school. Film school is great, gives the tools, but really the subject and the need of your heart to tell the story is the most important things. And what I can say that from my perspective of the technical person who normally, work in, it's kind of the small factory, let's say, small company. For me, sometimes you have the tough moments, the politics, the protest, sometimes no financial support for the long period of time. Okay, it happens, it's part of the life, but what gives you the energy to continue is the subject and the need to tell the story, to share the story. And you have this needs, we will pass the tough moments easier. And this is the question, is activist project or not? I think this is also the part of the activism is to tell the story. And for example, personally, I have the problems with the police and being with the protests. People, I support them, but it's hard for me. So I'm happy, to give my tools to share the story of the real activists, which we are following them.
Actually,
yeah.
There are different ways of fighting, and our way of fighting for the rights is to bring that story to the world, I think. And it's a great present, actually, to be so close to it, to be so close to our protagonist and their vision of that revolution, I think. And and as we are running out of time, actually, and we've got a lot of things to say, I think it would be also good to tell a bit more about that non-hierarchic structure and the way we are dealing with that. We've already said a bit, but I think that it would be great to tell more about female cinema and about the way we are dealing with the production kind of issue in that project, because one of the thing was that, and it's always in documentary, the question about money and how to deal with money when at the beginning you have to give your time for free. So I think that what we've decided is interesting to consider as a way of building a new wave in documentary filmmaking. It's about the fact that we are taking all the decisions together, and we've decided that that financial transparency will be the way we are working, and I do want to tell more about it, Karolina?
Yes. Thank you. So, yeah, there's a lot of hierarchy when you talk about the relation between the production and creative crew. And it was a little bit surprising to me, I have to admit. But I think we figured a way to deal with that. And I strongly believe that one of them is actually transparency of the budget. We started with the transparency among each other, because transparency is such a great tool if you want to fight gender gap. It actually solves many problems. If we knew how much people are earning for the same job, it would be so easy to negotiate, right? So of course we are in a way in a bubble because we are all women and we support each other, but it's a great place to start. Because even for us, it was a little bit, how to do it, but how to do it? How will we tell our producer that we know about our, salaries? Like, oh, is it possible? Is it, I don't know, is it fair? It's our knowledge. We can do with that whatever we want. If we decide to share it, we can share it. It's that she or him, a producer, cannot share our salary to people we don't want to share with. But if we among each other decide to do that, we should not be forbidden to do that, because I know there are some deals like that in the corporations and stuff that you cannot. But here we build it on our own terms, and we started with talking about each other's salaries and discussing it. And, I feel like we all should earn great money. I don't see the reason why we should save some money on our salaries. This is like the main thing that it can give us the possibility to actually make a good film, because we don't have to work elsewhere. It's so simple. So transparency is really important, and the same goes for the transparency of the budget. And now we are happy to have producers that understand that, and we will be able to actually have a look, decide together on issues that we can have a say on, and on some issues I don't even want to have a say, because I don't get so many things about production. I just want to understand the whole logic behind it, but I don't want to decide. That's why we have producers, because I guess there's this great fear that you will be then, asking questions and giving your ideas. I can only give ideas about things that really matter to me, not to production company, because there's a lot of things like that. So I think transparency is a way to build a new model.
Yeah, and it was really interesting for me because of the other experience I had with different projects I'm involved, how natural. Once again, it came to us that it's, of course, we were unsure at the beginning how to deal with the fact that we would like to discuss it with the producer and with the production side, that let's try to build that budget together. Let's try to decide where to, of course, in that mutual trust, that because actually team is everything, but also trust is everything, that we are being paid a good money because we are really devoting ourselves to a project. And it's so good to have that feeling that you don't have to take that side jobs, and you can concentrate 100% or 95% on that particular thing. That and it sometimes there are so many strange decisions how to spend money, and I know that the new wave of green filming already started, and I think that budget transparency is part of it. Anna, you want to add something from your experience in different projects?
Well, I think it's a nice moment when we can, like, redefine our habits to produce the film. And for me, it's a little bit different. It's something new, and like we will have, I think, many new moments in our project where we will have to face our goals with the reality as well and practice it. But in general, I wanted to say that the feeling being equal and be responsibility for the final, let's say, effects of the work, and being listened in each moment, being important for the whole process, is a crucial support to make things easier. This is from my side.
Thank you, Anna. Judita, do we have any questions, or can we continue?
Yeah, so we're slowly approaching our time limit. We have 10 minutes, around 10 minutes. So yes, I am reminding about the Q&A chat option if anyone has any questions to ask. We can either give you maybe a few more minutes to sum up maybe and mention a few more things. I have some questions if nobody else asks any. I have a lot of questions, but I know you also had some other points to cover, so maybe we can have additional 3, 4, 5 minutes so you can wrap up, and then I'll ask the questions.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you. So so we've been thinking how to sum it up and what to give you as a take home of after that experience, and how to when it comes building it on our experience. So one thing for sure is when you want to work on your project, on your documentary or any project, just look for the people who trust you and who you really trust. As the team, of course, it's a cliche that the team is everything, but actually trust is everything. Actually, trust among the people you're working with, especially in documentary, is more than important. So that's one thing we've decided is good to emphasize.
second take-home message would be go for transparency, try it. It's worth it. It's you have a right to it. You're entitled to it. You don't listen to people that tell you that's a company secret or something. It's a decision. It's a decision, and it's there for a reason. And it can be really, really uplifting. And don't be afraid if people tell you that you don't trust them, or if you want to see the budget, that means that you think that they are going to steal money. That's so far from the core of the idea. It's not to judge or to check on somebody. It's to be part of it. It's to be included. It's to be taken seriously, and it's not a vision of from the 60s of a commune that everybody does everything and now I'll become a producer. It's so far from that. It's completely different story. And remember, it's really a mean to fight for gender gap. We need to earn as much as men and on the same position. So transparency is a key word, I would say.
Anna?
Well, to take home, well, I think everyone should feel equal and feel important in the crew, and feel sure that his propositions, his doubts will be listened, and he will be listened by everyone, and will be never judged, even it's like a, mistake or it's hard to understand, will be not judged. Your position is, is fixed, and well, and I think this gives you also the possibility to go for the risk situation, because you feel comfortable that you are not alone and you can improvise and you can make mistakes. And for my opinion, the best and the most interesting projects needs, have this kind of the risk
element.
Yeah. And when you have to be, feel comfortable and feel, strong to go for something risky. So crossing fingers for this kind of conditions to work.
Yeah. And actually, we can make a small loop. Oh, I'm sorry. Once again, it's all about intuition. Again, there is a lot about intuition and about that radical empathy, that you can confront yourself, confront your ideas, your deep intuition, how to make a film, what is important, only among people who trust you, but also when you feel safe, and also when you hear what other people want to say, and then it's easier to hear yourself better, to clarify your vision about a film. So yeah, so it's once again about radical empathy and how much you can get from it, I think.
Can I add one more point?
Yeah, of course.
That would be a bit rebellious, because we agreed on 3 take-home messages, and that would be trust, transparency, and flat structure. But I would add one from myself. Don't be afraid to say that you want to work with women, because I've noticed that some people, they are afraid to say that they prefer to work with women, because they feel that this is something like, discrimination of men. But I think we can say that for the simple reason, if we want to work with women, of course, for that simple reason that we share the same experience of growing up, of being born and growing up in a patriarchal culture. This culture we experience it in different way than men. And men were privileged for ages to tell their stories, and women were not. There are some, of course, some stories told by women, but we all know how little this amount is, how rare it is. And even now, if you look into the statistics, it's not 50-50. We know about it. It's so far from there. So if I say I prefer to work with women, I'm saying I want to support women's storytelling. I want to support women's stories. I want to hear stories about myself. I don't want to listen and see and read stories about male perspective, because I'm fed up with it. You know, I know it by heart. I've been taught to do that the whole of my life. So this is why I encourage you to say openly, I prefer at that particular time, if that is true for you, I prefer to work with women because I want women's storytelling to be strong.
Yes, 100 agree.
Great, thank you very much for the key takeaways. Well, we have 3 more minutes, so to sum up, I have a question. The issues you're talking about, the issues you're experiencing and making your projects about are very difficult. Also, like on personal level, of course, for you, because you're all women, and also to then translate it into a film to encounter other women who also experience these very difficult issues. How do you also take care of your well-being on creating like a safe space during the process, so that it's also not so burning out for you to in this long process of experiencing that both as a creative and personally, to keep going and not also burn out?
Yeah, actually, burnout is a big issue. I think that all of us had faced it. And well, when it comes to me, because I think it's very, very personal and individual, but I think that trying to find a balance between your private space and the time you can dedicate only for you and for your being in nature, meditate, or do whatever brings you whatever brings peace and harmony to you, because it's really tough sometimes when you are shooting a documentary. So I think that taking care of yourself is very important, but also communicating the people you are working with. Okay, I'm just tired. It was tiring. I cannot go on any longer. I need a break. And actually, I think that when we are three musketeers, let's say, it's always like there are weaker moments and the moments of your full of energy, but it's really important to have that courage and safe space to say, I need to rest. I think that rest is more than important. That's from my side, actually.
Yeah, this is also the way I see it, that if you have this flat structure and trust relation and you listen to each other, then it's not like, oh, I cannot say I'm tired because then I will lose my job, you know. If you're really facing burnout, it's better you have the surrounding that you can share it with, and you can say, I need a couple of days off or even a couple of months off, because that could also happen. But that shouldn't mean that you will lose your job. So this is also part of this new model that we can talk about, and we can also, I don't know, Monika keeps saying that when we'll have full budget will have psychological supervision, and this is something we think about, you know, we take it seriously. So now we have each other and in the future we'll have professionals.
Sorry, actually, when I was on ITFA, not last year, in 2019, I had the pleasure to be part of a great panel, how psychological supervision is important for a crew during shooting a documentary. And I really think it should be a standard. It should be a standard for the crew, especially in the complicated subjects, but not only. I think that making a documentary movies is very often like digging in so emotional layers. It's great to have a support. So hopefully one day when we'll have a budget, we'll have money for psychology supervision, and also for spa, and also for pleasures for us as a crew. And Anna, do you want to add something?
No, I agree with this.
Okay, great. I very like the positive note that we summarized and ended the panel on. Yeah, if we don't have any more questions, I would like to thank you very much for participating and sharing your insights with us. It was very, very inspiring, and to see how you cooperate, how you approach this process creatively and with this beautiful sisterhood and flat hierarchy. I think it's very inspiring to see, and hopefully that will be the model that will be more and more present from now on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having us here. And I have the feeling that now it's more clear why we've decided to invite Anna as well. So it's great that we had that chance to speak in front of you, all three of us.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Thank you.